I believe so-called police officers, which would be the so-called white man, white woman, and child, I believe they know within. I believe in my heart, just my honest, strongest opinion, that they know who we are. I don't care. Let me say it like this. Um, you have a lot of our people that look. A lot of us can resemble the other nations, right? I don't know. I kind of can say in my mind that I can be wrong. I can be 1,000% wrong. I believe, I don't know. It just seems like, regardless of whether you look like Esau or not, if you mix, like, say like your one of your parents is a heathen and your father is an Israelite, according to being a black or Hispanic or Native American. For some reason, it's like your spirit, it's like they still can a evil spirit can spot out a Israelite. I don't know. It's like you may not know who you are, like me. Not I probably don't know for sure who I am. But you can kind of pick that up the spirit wise, because he said the spirit will bear witness with your spirit. It's like they can catch your spirit like a magnet light, like a magnet. You know how a magnet, if you put a magnet real close to something, or kind of close, not all the way, and somehow way that magnet gonna feel that other magnet and it's gonna like draw to it like that. It's like Esau knows that. I don't care if you even look like a so-called white man, you look like a so-called African or whatever. No matter whether you look like the other nations or not, or whatever, it's like almost like Esau still know by your spirit. Now, if I'm wrong, put it in the comment section and tell me if you think I might be on to something. Because the reason I'm saying this is because I was in Walmart today, and I don't like, I don't, they don't, they hate us. So what? I say I hate them just like they hate me. I do. Why would I love somebody who have a deep disdain and hatred for me? Why would I love the devil? You tell me that. It's like almost like they really ain't got to even know you. It's like your spirit gonna draw. They gonna. It's like your they spirit, they demonic spirit is gonna catch and identify who you are, even if you do look like the other nations. I don't give a damn if you do look a whole lot like Esau. You can look as pale red like a white man, a so-called white man. And if your father's an Israelite and looking like the other nations and stuff, because he did say our people will be called Gentiles and they will take on a Gentile spirit, or evil spirit, and be just like the other nation. And no matter how much you look like Esau, it just seems like when they look at you, it's like in their mind, they're like, yeah, I know who you are. Even though one of them looked at me and I looked at their ass the same way they looked at me. I'm like, hey, I hate your ass too. And it's like you can see that. You notice how they go around and they kill our people? They go around and they kill our people for nothing and things of that nature. When you look at so-called white people, when you look at this so-called white man, I looked at him and I was looking at him just like way he was looking at me. And you can see the purebred. evil on this on written on them. You can see it on them. When you look at a lot of so-called white people, you can see it. It be written all on their damn face. I told somebody today I wanted to start a movement and go around and like I want to talk to the head and tell them this is could y'all stay there out of our neighborhood because I want to command the chiefest or whoever they are, stay out of our neighborhood because for decades, for centuries and decades ago, our people been dying, losing their life in the streets, in their car, being shot dead because of who they are, being targeted no matter where you go in the store. Have the law, the so-called white man call on you, Esau call on you because they suspect you look suspicious. You know what I mean? You feel what I'm saying? It's like no matter how much you seem like you mix with the other nation, it's like Esau, when they look at you, it's like they can say, yeah, you look like us. I don't care how much you look like us and how much more you look like us. We still, it's like underneath the surface, I see that Jake in you. I see that spirit of Esau. I see that spirit of Israelite. I still can see it. I don't care how much you look like Esau. I don't you got all the characteristics of Esau. But you know what? We still know underneath the surface, we know you ain't you I know you we know you ain't our people. I still know who you are underneath that skin color. It just seems like that. You see what I'm saying? Cause and this is how you can tell, because he said in the Bible, in Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verses 46, he said, these curses will be upon the Israelites for a sign and for a wonder, right? And upon our seed forever. So even if we don't know who we are, all the other nations, they really know for sure who we are. We got to walk around and we got to be like, well, I don't really, but you really not really sure. You see what I'm saying? But when they tell you where they from, they can say, oh yeah, well, they know without a shadow of a doubt. They don't have no kind of unclean, no kind of doubt, no even just a tiny bit. They don't even have it. They able to tell you, I know where I come from. I know the land, the time, the part of Europe I'm from. I know exactly the part, the place, and the time, and everything. We got to be like, well, others. And when you put on an application, if I put an application out, I would have to put other. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm going by something, if I'm going genetically going by something, I would, yeah. You see how I'm hesitant about saying certain things because you don't really know. You can say one thing, but the so-called white man ain't got to do that. They don't have to be like, well, I wonder what I am. I wonder this here. I wonder what I am. No, they don't have to wonder that. They don't have to. They don't. Not like us. They don't have to worry about that like us. But I was in Walmart today, and I looked at them, and I let them know I have a disdain and a hatred for them, just like they have it for me. Yeah, I have a disdain for them, just like a hatred for them, just like they got it for me. You hate me, I hate you. So what? You ain't getting in my space. I ain't gonna even sit there and hold a conversation with you. The only time I might in having an interaction with them, if I'm doing business with them, or if they checking me out, and if it has something to do with when you are spending you in the store or something, and something go wrong and they have to come and fix the register or the self checkout register or something like that, and they have to ring you up and then tell you what you owe and all that type of stuff. That's it. That's the only time I basically have a encounter them, if I have to. And then even in that process, I still limited myself from interacting with them because I don't feel comfortable interacting with them at all. At all. At all. No, not at all. When I say not at all, I mean none. 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 No. None. None whatsoever. Just if they throw their hand up, speak or whatever, I don't even speak. Mm-mm. I look at them and keep going. When I tell you I don't waste no time with them, I don't waste none. Mm-mm. Now, some people can do it differently. Some people, probably some Israelite brothers, are a little stronger than me, where they can sit there and hold a conversation with them, laugh and talk with them, probably drink beers and probably drink whiskey and all this stuff with them, and still not trust them. But me, hell no. The Bible tells you in Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 10, it says, never trust thy enemy. It tells you never trust your enemy. But for some reason that swipes or run at that, it gets overthrown over it. Just our people just let it just override their head and they jump the gun. You tell them never. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 12 and 10, never trust your enemy. It just roll over their head some kind of way. Some kind of goddamn way, it's gonna roll over their goddamn head. Never trust your enemy. Yeah, it means something else. No matter how you read the script to them, yeah, it means something else. It means what the fuck it says. If it says don't trust your enemy, it means that. You can't tell our people that though, because a lot of our people is sell out Uncle Toms. A lot of them are. How can you work on a so-called white man's force who you see your people get killed for no reason, and you still feel comfortable going and clocking in on a time clock where you will be subject to happen to do and practice what they're doing when you're working on why you think they call it the force, the police force? Because they enforce government laws on you. God's law is not forced on you. You see what I'm saying? It's already in us, so God ain't got to force nothing on us. But the so-called white man, everything and all his laws that he got, all of them have a negative connotation to them. There's nothing positive about the so-called white man's laws. People will tell you all the time, you got to obey the laws of the land and all that kind of stuff. Laws of what land? The laws of the land. You have to remember you in the land of your enemy. What the law? How in the hell you gonna tell me obey the laws of your enemy that are totally contrary to the Most High God? But you telling me obey the law. First and foremost, they stole this land. Obey the laws of the land. What laws? The laws of God and the laws of man. We all know that you don't need no damn white man to tell you if you run a stop sign or walk out in the road or something like that, you'll get hit or whatever, because we all know with good judgment, we know our ass are getting knocked off. You don't have to. Why would they be telling you something that you already know? You see what I'm saying? Why would you say something that you already know? Obey the laws of the land. Hell, we got God's laws. They more faithful about keeping the white man's laws than they is the laws of God. Yeah, people are more faithful about keeping the so-called white man's laws more than, and don't even keep God's law at all. You know, so when you sign up for a job on the so-called police force, the devil's force, or whatever, you are signing up for everything else that goes along. The police, the so-called the police department ain't nothing but the modern day Ku Klux Klan. That's all it is. It's modern day Ku Klux Klan, the KKK. You got it. You understand that when they killed George Floyd in 2020. God be trying to give black our people, black people, so-called blacks, their wake-up call, but they miss the mark every time. They trying to include everybody in that. How can you sit up here and say that the kingdom of heaven is going to be equal when there is a hierarchy in every kingdom? Even if you look in the animal kingdom, they have a king, they have a cap, they have different positions, just like we have different roles to play, right? We all have a different role to play. When you look at Jacob and Esau, Esau has a role in the Bible to play, just like Jacob has a role to play. Ahab has a role to play. In the book of Daniel, Daniel had a role and a part to play out. And these are the different characters that plays different parts in their mission. Just like if you look in the Hollywood world, right? You got movies, you got the movie stars, right? There are different parts in that movie that they audition those people for. Everybody can't play the head in these movies. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at the kingdom of heaven is the government, the rulership of the earth. It's not talking about nothing in the sky. You see what I'm saying? That's what I would say. In my honest, from what I read, because you can't read the Bible literally. You know what I mean? Because the Bible is written in parables and allegories. You see what I'm saying? There is a hierarchy. A hierarchy is it's like a higher being in the kingdom of heaven. You see what I'm saying? Even when you look at father, you look at the mother, right? They got the father, they got the mother, and all of those, right? No matter how the father and the mother is always going to be physically older than the children. Physically, right? They're not going, it's impossible for me is to be equal to my mother. Now, when I say equal to my mother, I'm talking about when it comes to being the head of who was born first, when it comes to the position and the role that she plays. She is a real mother to me. She can't be no other role in the character than what she was created to be. She was created and preordained and predestined for me is to be her son. It was predestined that way, and it was predestined for her to be my mother. It's impossible for the son to be the mother, right? I can't be the mother. My mother gonna have to do that. I'm always gonna be the son, That is a hierarchy. Every role, think about it. Every role in the Bible, there's 18 nations in the Bible, and each one of them have a role, but a different role. You see what I'm saying? Let's look at the word hierarchy. Let's see if we can get, I'm going to Google this word of hierarchy. All right. Hierarchy. What is the definition of hierarchy? A system of organization in which people or groups are reckoned one above the other according to the stature or authorities. Okay? The clergy of the Catholic or Episcopalian Church, the religious authorities, none. The hierarchy, the Roman Catholic hierarchy in Romania, the upper and e eho eho e co e lo e colas of a hierarchy system, those in authorities. People that are in a, when you think of somebody that's in authorities, let me take the Bible and give the biblical definition of hierarchy. Because a lot of people think that the kingdom of heaven is going to be somewhere where it's that the kingdom of heaven is, first of all, is for the Israelites. The people that will be the other people that's going to be in the kingdom, they're going to have a different role. They're going to have to be at the feet. They're going to be at the bottom serving the Israelites. According to Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. He said the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them. See that? And the strangers will be joined with them. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them, just like they took our people. And it said, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaiden. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were. And they, talking about us, the Israelites, will rule over their oppressors. They will rule over. That's a hierarchy. So when you look at that, how in the hell is Israelites, excuse me, how in the world is the other nations going to be equal to, in how's it going to be equalness in the kingdom? It's impossible to be equalness in the kingdom because it ain't gonna never be like that. When you look at the lion is the king of the jungle, right? In the animal kingdom, in the rabbit kingdom, there's always a hierarchy. It's a higher being, all of the other rabbits in there, right? When you look at the wasp kingdom, there's always a king, a king bee, and a queen bee. That's a different role that they play. They all are the same bees on one nest, but it's still, even in the walls of the bumblebee kingdom, there is there is structure, there is a order. You know, each one of them bees have a role to play and help taking part to make that a bee, the beehive kingdom. When they built that walls kingdom, it took all of those bees playing a part in that to make that be possible, to make that be whatever. Now it is their job is to keep whatever does not look like them out of their kingdom. If a human being walks up to a wasp nest, more than likely, and mess with it some kind of way, all those walls, their role is to protect all of the other bees or the babies or whatever that's in there, whatever. When you look in the dog world, it's the same damn way. When you look in the dog world, it's the same way. A dog or animal is not going to let you go there and mess with their babies. That is the role of those animals, is to protect their babies. There is a hierarchy. It's not the same. So people are always teaching and saying that it's going to be equal in the kingdom of heaven. It's not. Because when you look at Matthew's 25 and 31 and 32, the Bible says he's going to separate the sheep from the goats. Who are the goats? The goats are the heathens. The stands for the heathens of the other nation. Who is this sheep? The Israelites. They're going to be above all of the other nations in the kingdom, man. Just like in my house. My mother took care of business when it came to everything. Before she got in the condition that she's in now, had a severe stroke, and I told y'all about that. She took care of everything. She was best at doing that. I'm learning. I'm not so good at it. But when things took a turn, sometimes you have no other choice but to take on the role. You see what I'm saying? But the point I'm making is there are different roles. Just like if you go in Esau's world, go in his so-called police station world, you got a lot. You got the sheriff, you got the deputy, you got the head, you got the captain, you got the captain, you got the chief, you got the higher chief, you got the highest, the in charge chief. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all better at this shit than me. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all get the point of what I'm talking about. There is always because there are different parts in the so-called police station. In Esau's kingdom, you got the secretary, you got somebody dealing with the probably the cash or whatever you want to call it. You got people that are janitors that keep the bathrooms up in a store or whatever organization it is. When it comes to Esau, there are different roles that people play. And guess what? You can go into the Bible and you can find all this in the Bible. Just like in man's world out here in this real world, there's a hierarchy or whatever. Guess what? It's the same thing in coming into God's kingdom. There's always a hierarchy. There's always the you know what I'm saying, a difference. So don't let nobody tell you anything different from that. You know what I mean? Because we've been lied to, we've been bamboozled. And when Adam and Eve, when in the Garden of Eden, when they took, and it was all about knowledge, it wasn't no damn apple that they bit off of, it wasn't no damn natural fruit. The fruit biblically represents the knowledge. Abhed and listening to the ways of Esau listening to the ways of Esau got them in trouble. And what happened? The punishment came. That's a hierarchy. There's a higher head that punished them. Let's read this right here. I'm reading this book called Who is Esau Edom? Written by Charles A. Wiseman. I'm gonna start right here since my eyes caught this here, because all of it is good. The Christians do not use the Jews as the anarchists they are, but rather as a Bible followers of God's chosen people. This condition will change with Jacob's deliverance. So you will again distinguish between the righteous and the wicked, between the one who serves God and the one who does not serve him. let's look at right here. This is what I'm looking for right here. Epological, I think I'm saying it right. Character, roles, and identity. The Bible is a script which has several different themes. This material has dealt with one of its main themes, that being the conflict between good and evil, right and wrong, lawful and lawlessness, the ways of God and the ways of man. While this theme is fundamental and can be seen by most in the world, it has not been clear who the characters, now remember that, are involved in the conflict. There is one thing that is unmistakably evidence regarding the Bible, and that is it deals with and is about a particular race of people, the direct descendants of Adam, later called Israel. They are the main characters in God's script. Esau, Edom, is a secondary character in the script. Only when we know and identify the white European people as the Israel people and the Jews as the Edomites do, th- things in the world make a complete sense when roles of Jacob, Esau are identified. We see that everything is happening exactly as it is written in the script. The problem the world has been plagued with is a case of mistaken identity and unknown identity. Regarding the roles God has assigned to Esau and Jacob, the Edomites do not like the role they have been assigned. The Edomites do not like the role they have been assigned, and fear being found out for who they really are. They thus have been trying to rewrite the script to keep white Christians from discovering their identity and heritage and that of the Jews. Thus it is believed that Esau, the Jew is Jacob, God's chosen people, and Jacob, the white race, is just a Gentile. That's what they are. It says, no one can deny that the Jews are a most unique and unusual people, which stands out in history and current events. That uniqueness exists in part because of their Edomite heritage. No other people fits the characteristics and follow the role of Esau, Edom, so completely as do the Jewish people, talking about the fake Jews. The Jews followed the role that their ancestors, the Edomites, has followed. No other people fit the characteristics and follow the roles of Esau and Edom. See, Esau has a role, he has characteristics. The characteristics of Esau is that more than likely they will kill themselves. You see what I'm saying? They get under pressure. A so-called black person, a Hispanic person be like, oh man, here we get through it. Shit. We'll be like, oh, god damn, shit. Fuck it. Oh shit. And we like, all right, forget it. We'll make it. No matter what, because we are born and we are made for certain things. We just built and made for certain things. We're designed. It's just the Most High already mapped it out how he wanted it to play out. A curse and rejected people such as the Edomites, some of the Jebusites of Christ's time, so of Christ's time do not have God within them. As Christ said, if God were your father, you would love me. St. John 8:42. Can you think of anyone that hates Christ more than those people known as the Jews today? Okay, it's a lot, man. Esau, if you look in Genesis, you look at the story of Cain in Genesis chapter 4. Abel, which was a Hebrew, offered a better sacrifice than Cain did. So Cain got jealous, and Cain represents Esau, the white man, because he is the first murderer in the Bible. So Cain murdered his brother Abel. That's the reason why the so-called white man targeted, we are the biggest target on the planet. And they know this here. You see what I'm saying? And like I said in the beginning of this video, from my honest understanding of, strongest thoughts, I believe even if you do look like a so-called white man and you look like Edomite, but your father is an Israelite, I believe there's a chance, from what I'm understanding, that they can still read your spirit and they can tell exactly who you are. You know what I mean? It's like they know who you are. Yeah, you look like us, because y'all forefathers was hard-headed and they mixed with us and they mixed with our nations and stuff and things of that nature. But we still know who you are. We still know genetically you're not one of us. It's like almost like they can feel and sense and pick up in their mind and know that you are not part of them. And then they get to walk around and physically get to not have a problem of knowing who they are. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead on, I'm gonna stop this video right here. As y'all see, I got my Babylon Temple of Two, which was written by Rudolph Winsall. The man is from New Jersey. He has a big family, Rudolph Winsall was born in Long Beach, Breach, New Jersey, after living a number of Jersey communities. I don't even know how. You know what? Communities. His family settled in Philadelphia, where he attended community colleges, studied psychology and political science. He continued his educational pursuits as at Gazer College, margin the Eastern students and the University of Metaphysics, where he received his PhD and metaphysical philosophy. Metaphysical philosophy. In addition, he is married to Mary L. Robinson. Okay, it's going into who the man, yeah, you can see him right there. That's the black man that wrote this book. Yep, that's the black man, the so-called black man. His name is Rudolph Winsall. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoy this here. So I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. Sometime it's been a minute since I actually put a video up over here. I believe so-called white police officers know who we are. That's the title of the video. I believe so-called white police officers know who we are. I believe they know. Like I said, whether you mix, you can be so much look just like Esau. It just seems like they still can recognize your spirit. Yeah, you look like us, but we know who you are. I'm just saying, it's I could be wrong. You can let me know in the comment section, but that's just my honest opinion. But I could be right. But it seemed like the so-called white people, they know who we are. They know who we are. It's like we don't know exactly all the way who we are. But believe you me, I believe it, they know who everybody is. Now, I can be wrong now, but it just feels like that. That's all I'm saying. So I'm out. I'm going to see y'all later.